Well, good afternoon, evening, everybody. Welcome to Nature Echoes on this Sunday, 20th of August, 2023. Thank you all, anyone who's joining me. I hope we've gone live because I've I've just sort of jumped in with just this moment. I'm just seeing if we're actually recording. We should be on live. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we're definitely live. Right. Reason being is I've just jumped in. Claire and I have just jumped in. We've been having a lovely afternoon with the Leitrim Hawthorn project. So thank you very much for those of you joining me and joining later. This is our weekly time of echoing news, stories, poetry, and art, and connecting this to nature folklore and our precious water, the holy wells, the woodlands, hedges, and wildlife. And today it was the hawthorn. So hail, hail, whole, and holy good health for you all. Now, this edition is going to be a very spontaneous one because, as I was saying, we've just arrived back from the Leitrim Hawthorn project. It was a lovely event that was in Drumshambo by Loch Anlan. So I did have time to prepare stuff. Usually I sort of do a bit of preparation for the Nature Echo. So this is going to be spontaneous, which means it's probably going to be short. And I'll be back to the usual format next week. But through this edition, definitely I'm going to be talking about hawthorn trees, the berries, a bit about apples as well. And also a very special retreat that's happening during 2024, during and just after the summer solstice next year. So I'll get to that eventually. And as usual, as I'm always saying, this Nature Echoes Live, plus the growing Nature Folklore video articles, the photos library, and the journaling Nature Folklore course modules, all brought to you due to the support of our kind subscribers. And that's the link there. It's still there, amazingly. Very good. So there's a free subscription, and with that you get at least 40 very informative Nature Folklore articles. I'm currently putting up Apple ones at the moment. And if you upgrade to become a support subscriber, this includes my journaling Nature Folklore, which is actually going to take a name change very soon. But I won't announce that this week. That might be something that will come up next week. But whichever way, it's a course of 20 course modules that you can join at any time. Because journaling Nature Folklore is a revolving course, you can join at any time. It's not a linear one, and each time you get around a whole year, if you go back to the modules, you're going to find new stuff. So that's why it keeps revolving, and you get the updates as well. And I'm going to have the 4 seasonal online live workshops a year. And one of the things I'm actually going to announce is getting people together. That's one of the things I'm going to announce a bit later on. But online as a sponsor is €5 a month, or the 50% discount of €30 a year in your currency. So thank you for supporting, because your support is why I'm here, still broadcasting for you, even if we're driving at 150. No, I'm not. I was in the speed limit from Drumshambo to get here, especially to have a chat with you. So with the show survival pledge underway, I think there's some early birds. I haven't switched on the comments yet, so let's see what you're saying there. Claire, wonderful to see nurturing and celebration of nature. There's Sky. Looking good, mister, and so are you there, Sky. So, as I say, hold on to your seats. You might be interested in this one, Sky, when I'm going to make the retreat announcement on this. Say nothing planned. So it's going to be a bit of a short broadcast this time, because I haven't had my dinner yet, for one. So anyway, what shall I start with? Yeah, the Leitrim Hawthorn project. It was a meetup in Drumshambo. And this is the last day of Heritage Week in Ireland. And the highlights were the Hawthorn storytelling and Mohill's Jerry Bohan. Now, as far as putting pictures up this time, I just quickly put some up. I managed to do a little slideshow. It's all mixed up, but I don't know what the heck I've got. And I think, there we are, there's Jerry, the show, just in case. He put the whole thing together. It's really Jerry Bohan's baby. He put the thing together, the Leitrim Hawthorn project. Farmer in Mohill here, and he has some great tales on Hawthorn Storytelling. He told some tales direct from his farm, which are interesting and funny. But he's actually reading from his storybook there, and that's it. The Cleanings Tree. That's his book that he's just got out. So we had Jerry there, and there were some people just as we got there were talking about what to do with the hawthorns to make various remedies. And the place definitely smelled like a distillery or a brewery, which is very authentic. I think any sort of herbal alchemy area, it should be smelling that way. And I'll be talking about that over the coming weeks when I start doing the Ale Housewives series. But they were certainly mixing together various materials, certainly the berries from the hawthorn right now. And she had dried some blossom as well. And there was rose hips. So there was quite an alchemy going on for our winter medicines and winter tinctures and so forth. So that was going on there. And that was Jerry. That's his book. Okay, I'll come to that one in a minute. Get back to me for a minute. Right. The big announcement today is the merging of two special events from summer solstice 2024. Now, that's going to be coming up in due course. Anyway, let's get before I get to that. I'm going to talk to you with pictures because I've got nothing really planned. There was a music session, and there's Edwina Gukian there, who's really transformed Leitrim. The woman on the left, she's really got Leitrim excited about the natural folklore, the stuff that I chat about in nature folklore through nature echoes. She has riled up Leitrim, especially this month, and got everybody excited about reviving old folklore with the seasons, starting with the mummers that we had over Christmas and New Year, and then Eamok as well with the various blessings with that, and Lunasa with the tree, the May tree. We went through that. So now we're coming on. And it doesn't say Lunasa, the Beldner, and it's Lunasa right now. So being a focus on the hawthorn at the moment, and there's going to be the first, because it hasn't been very good, the weather here. There's a lot of rain. There hasn't been the harvesting. So the first harvest is actually quite late. And Edwina is actually a farmer as well, farming family. And they're growing a lot of oats. And they haven't been able to harvest their oats. So when they get the oats, they'll be threshing those away for the oats as possible. And then there'll be all this oat straw for making up the mama's costumes. And she's already running workshops to make your mama's hat and the costumes. Can't remember the name of the woman on the right. She had some lovely stories. And Edwina's a dancer. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the video up of the dancing in time for the broadcast just now. So I'll put that up probably on Facebook. But she took us through some wonderful dancing, and then she did a Roman, and she's absolutely quite superb, world class on the Shano dancing. Anything else from there? There should be another picture coming through. Why am I not getting any more pictures? Yeah, there we go. There she is. Now we did a dance, and she was going through the seasons. So this was really going back to Bildner, and that was kind of made with the oat straw as well. And that was the May Queen. So we did a May Queen dance. We were doing something remote. She went through the whole year, and we got through to the Lunosaurus it is. And lovely Vera there, because the one thing I don't have, Claire and I were there, we actually did all the hawthorn, because this was obviously a hawthorn event, but it was about the berries. But there's no video of that. But Vera came along and asked Claire if she could do some music with her dancing, and she was absolutely amazing interpretive dancer. The music that Claire performed with that was superb, and then there is a video, but you're just not going to get that with me, but they will be posted by other people that were there. And there you are, there's Claire on the left, and there's Vera in action there. Oh yeah, that's the next thing we're going to be talking about. Anyway, we've got some people who are making some comments here. Finola Maxwell, thank you very much, Tina. Tina Rock's getting that right. And there's interested in Hawthorn healing, couldn't make Drumshambo today. We were sort of halfway through that, sort of familiar territory, but it's lovely how Tara, wasn't it, was going through it. That she was really doing it in several layers and was very good on that. I think this is about as much as I can say. Certainly, there's going to be more events with the Leitrim Hawthorn project. I suppose the next big one is when the Blossom came out, because people were taking at around the Beltner time, people were taking the incredible display. I mean, there was a real performance of blossoms all around everywhere. But Leitrim, it was amazing. And people were sending up their photographs of, because there wasn't much wind. There was not the late frost. So it really allowed the hawthorn and fruit blossoms to really take hold this year. So that was really fabulous for that. Right, I gave the game away on the next one. I don't think there's anything more I can do with reviewing. I took a few more photos today, but this is what I could throw up on the slideshow in about 5 minutes before coming on the air, and computers were playing up before it was coming on the air. Anyway, so I'll go into this next subject. Yeah, there we go. I've been working with, and she's not on yet. She might come on. Is Davina Sinclair? Not sure where she lives now. She kind of goes from state to state. But I've been working with her because she wants to do a solstice tour, kind of intimate tour, like the things I used to do. And I did a tour with her when we were at Carracrory. And so she wanted to cover the solstice, and it started working out all of the island ones. And then she decided she wanted to include Scotland as well. And I thought, well, why can't you do 2 tours? Anyway, she was determined to get the Scotland in as well. And she came up with ideas for a Scottish tour, which would have completely exhausted everywhere. I think she wanted to do the whole of Scotland in 4 days. So she would have been Edinburgh, John O'Groat, so to Skye, Harry. She brought up about Harrison Lewis. But I said, why can't you just stick to Argyll? Start Kilmartin, and then it's really good. I've helped other tours do just Argyll, where they go into the Isle of Mull, they go into Iona, and that can really fill out your week so quickly, so easily. So, but the one thing that was discovered when we looked into it, that just about a lot of Argyll and even Skye going up, most of the bookings for 2024 are already booked. We were really trying all kinds of places and all kinds of ideas on the Isle of Mull, because I'm familiar with there, and Skye be extremely even more familiar with it now. And the only available accommodation was up in the north, in the town there of Tobermory, and that was totally away from the sites that would be of interest. But the one thing that came up is I haven't been there for many years, and I used to go to this building. It's in Carseg. Let's see if I can get it up. That's not it. That's the gardens. It's this. How do you fancy us spending a week there just after solstice? That's Carseg House, and I used to visit there because they actually had it as a retreat for artists. They did a lot. There was a painter person there, so there was sculpting and there was painting, and people went there for a week retreat. But now it's just let for holidaymakers, for vacation people, some workshops through the year. But it was available just for 1 week. Now it's the only week available next year. And it's just after the solstice, just exactly the time that we got. So we took the chance, and it's now been booked. So we've got to get people onto that very quickly. Absolutely fabulous. And what this means, instead of going from accommodation to accommodation, you can go into this place. It can take up to 18 people. Bedrooms galore. I haven't got any of the bedroom photos at the moment. That's the garden. That's the where everybody would congregate for meals. So this means it'd be just for the group and nobody else. And you can even, if you want, go down to the beach and have a barbecue. So there's that as well. And that's another shot from the house. Beautiful landscape there. And just down the road is the Lochbuie Stone Circle. People like to go to that for obvious reasons, especially the type of group that we're going. And then there's deer everywhere. I haven't got any pictures of the I wasn't. They actually have the Highland cattle not far away. They just roam the roads, so that's great fun. Everybody wants to see the Highland coos, the Heelan coos. So what else have I got? There's still places. The nice thing, as I say, going into that house there, the itinerary can be whatever it is, according to how people are fit and how the energy is and how the weather is. Usually, end of June, the weather's not too bad. It can be pretty good as well. But the thing is, we don't have to be a set itinerary. So it could be this. I haven't got photos of all the things that's possible. Some of the suggestions, as I say, there's the Stone Circle. Lochbuie is one of them. Ninian as well. I haven't got really good views of that, but we'd like to talk about the Holy Wells and folklore of that. Now, Ninian's is Kilninian, which is Loughnakeel. Beautiful views, beautiful landscape from there. It'd be wonderful if we can catch a nice sunny day from there. So that's one of the places as possible. Also, I'd love to get with the people with the Turoran Cooperative Forest there. Fascinating story, an incredible transformation story. And I certainly know the people involved with this. So that's an option, is to have a day in the woods doing the various things there with the education. And the children love it. The local schools, they have forest school days there. Adults go there for retreat, relaxation, nature walks, and also for mountain biking. And there's a view from Turoran going on to Loch Screeden there. Yes, it's absolutely stunning there. And also, what I would have loved to have done is done a hike down to Tavul at least, which has got some stunning waterfalls. The Berg would have been incredible, but I wouldn't be able to do that now, unfortunately. But certainly, Davina is fit enough. But I think that'd be out of our scape. That's something people would have to do independent. But we could go to Artun. Excuse. There's some people at Artun that started up in hazel forestry. Well, I should say hazel farming, because one thing, the wild hazels are very abundant from that area. And from there, you get lovely scenes of the Berg. The Berg has got incredible folklore of the kayak or kayabub, and various other names they've got locally. And when you get up close to it, you've got the waterfalls. And one of the things I used to do when I had retreats there is we could go on past Tavul, follow the track, go down a very sort of hairy ladder. I've showed you the pictures before. There's a fossilized hazel tree as you get to the bottom of the ladder, and you can walk around to those waterfalls. And what we used to do is they're not running as big as they can. Sometimes they come gushing down, and then the wind catches them and takes them back up again. But that first waterfall that's really thin, we'd actually spend the night there, because it's thousands of years. There's bat guano in there, bat shit. There's thousands, if not millions of years old. It's actually become scented. It's like a mattress. So the experience of having a night behind the waterfall, we won't be doing that, but we'll tell the tales of that. That's not Tavul waterfall. That's another waterfall that's actually in the Turoran forest, the cooperative forest. As they go over the story of how it became a cooperative, I was actually in the background, surprisingly involved in the legislation that made this possible. So that's campaigning for that, and it's quite a story. So it's sort of a proud moment, plus the fact of actually having the privilege of living there for a little while. So the whole thing is really stunning, and it's a great, not only you've got the scenery and the activities, it gives great ideas for anybody visiting that they can take it back home and start talking, because the idea of living with a cooperative structure rather than corporate, it just shows, yes, we can do it. You can get together with that. What have I got there? Oh, right. And of course, the one thing that we would do is certainly go off to Iona. I don't know how many days that'd be possible, but that's certainly looking from the north end. At least go over for the Abbey. Oh, that's back to Taror, and that's where they're actually getting rid of the plantation. They've got their own sawmills because it is a cooperative people invested in. So as well as leisure for the locals, there's also a bit of industry, and the sawmills actually provides timber for timber projects for the south of the island, maybe the north, and people actually can go there and have training in making things with the wood. It's really all rounder. So that's someone who's kind of using an adze, a very old tool, and it's a very efficient tool. And I believe that's probably some actual new native tree planting going on there. So yeah, back to Iona, Religor, and that's my pride and joy, because me and a lad I was working with, Ian Martin, one of the jobs on the contracts there, we actually replaced that roof. It doesn't look like it looks like a hundreds of year old roof, but in 1970, whatever it was, 5, 6, 7, I'm not sure. The slates came from Easdale, which is an island, one of the inner shore in the Hebrides, it's not south of Oban, and the whole island's made of slate. So the slate came, and we actually used the same tools as what they used in medieval times to cut the slate and put the holes into the slate itself. And we actually got blacksmiths to make authentic bronze. Yeah, there were bronze nails. And to actually pin them in. And we had other jobs there, but the Religorns one was particularly proud about. And the nunnery, we did some work on the nunnery, and especially with the retreat groups, going to be interesting there. We cleaned up the Sheila and the gig. Sorry, I don't have a photo of that. It's on the roadside. Inside there's an altar, or we rebuilt the altar there. It was just rubble, and a lot of people have loved using the altar there. And of course, if we can get got to do this, go off for a trip to famous for the Mendelssohn overture there, off to Fingal's Cave on Stafford Island. And that's an astounding experience to go over there. So those are the things that could be done on retreat. And that's all the photos I've got, it looks like. Sky's making some good comments on this one, because this is all familiar stuff. What's he saying here? It hasn't come up. There he is. Looking today, a tent. So inflatable. I don't think it's a chain mind of, yeah, the midges. I think with the sort group we're going to get Sky with this. The tents wouldn't go down with all of them, but it's a fantastic suggestion. Even camper vans is a fantastic suggestion. But the idea of the having sorry, gosh, I even forgotten what where we're going to with a Cossack house. Getting that, we're so comfortable for everything, and it's an experience. A lot of people coming from North America, they want, we want to stay in a castle. Well, this is not quite a castle, but it's certainly old heritage country house. It's enormous. It's got amazing stories itself. But the way this is done, as I say, don't forget Ireland. The way that Davina's going with this is first stop is here in Leitrim. And 2 nights it's going to be at the Lochrin Hotel, which is down the road from us, only a mile and a bit. So that will be the first 2 nights, and they'll spend some time with them. I might show them local holy wells. We'll see how the energy goes. Local holy wells, waterfalls, maybe a place called the Druid's Chair, that type of thing. And then they're going to dash to County Tipperary, and I've shown that on other Nature Echo. Sorry, I couldn't pull it up for you this time, but they're going to the Grange Circle B, and I've been sharing stories of that, of the Crom Croc and Crom Dove, which is very much related to the lunar sun right now, the lunar stories and the first harvest. But it's also a big celebration, especially for women, at the summer solstice, because there's a kind of a ceremony with a big Crom Dove stone that's there. I'm not going to go much into that just now, because I've covered that in other episodes. You can backtrack on episodes of that, but it is a sort of gratitude. There they kind of respond to Oinia and Groinia related to Grange, because that's greatest Grange circle C anyway, B, in regards to that. So they go to a place after that, which is Knockonia, which is the Hill of Onia, which is next to it. So they're all going to join in that midsummer, that group will join in that. So from there, heading off to the Beara Peninsula. Beara Peninsula, there's a few stone circle sites. I'd groom for one, especially visit the Hagstone. So everything's going to have very much a kayak theme to it. And then it's amazing how they're going to do it. They're actually going to go the next day from, well, once they've come out of the Beara Peninsula, they're going to head to Cork, get to Cork Airport for the following day. From Cork Airport, they're going to make themselves to Glasgow. They're going to jump on the train, if you want to be on this group, on the train to Oban, get the ferry over from Oban. We'll have a bus pick them up, Craigmuir on the Isle of Mull. Then they'll go straight to Carseg House, and that's where the retreat adventure is going to start. Then, haven't made firm decisions on this, whether it's going to be the whole group experience of Ireland and Scotland, and whether there's going to be openings of just the Scottish retreat only. But if you're interested, I still let's see, totally bombastic info. Sorry, totally bombastic into your life. Great to see you though. Bombastic. I wonder what you mean by that, Sky. Explain that. Anyway, there we go. Beautiful, amazing place, Sky is saying on that. So anyway, if you explain that, Sky, I'm not quite sure what I'm picking up. Right. I hope it's complimentary anyway. But anyway, those, I think to close this off, really, as I say, it is, I'm just rambling, nothing prepared with this. But if you're interested in details of this retreat, I'm getting together with a kind of a Zoom in, well, not Zoom, but on another service call with Davina tomorrow. And we're going to thrash things out, but please get yourself onto the waiting list, get the information, get the newsletter on this, and decide if it's something for you. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very unique. We've only been putting this together over the last few days, and it's amazing how things have changed. The way it really changed is the fact, the shock by both of us of trying to get accommodation on Mull for 2024, and the damn place is booked up already. So it's happening in Ireland too. So I have to make the bookings. It's amazing how many people are suddenly, they want vacations and holidays in both places. It's just gone crazy. So if you're thinking of Ireland and Scotland anyway, get yourself in there, because you're going to run out if you try to come over here and you don't have a camper van or something like that. You might be stuck. But the idea with us is to not be on the tourist boardwalk. The bus drivers are going to have to be able to go down the narrowest of roads where nobody else goes. I'm very familiar with these places that people are going to. And there are plenty of stories to be able to do with that. So it's going to be all experience. It's not going to be tours where you go and take selfies and take your bear around with you. This is going to be very, very active. So I haven't put the details up. You can go to my Substack, which is there, or message me on Facebook, message me on Instagram, message me through the YouTube. And I'll get you on the list, and we'll keep you updated how this is coming together. Next week, this is going to get really going. I'm actually reconstructing my entire website. That's been an accident because I've been lazy. I've been hacking into Google's Blogger, and you can, if you know a bit of CSS, you can sort of manipulate it into a website. It doesn't cost anything. And I've been using Google Domains, which isn't officially an island, but you can use a UK address. But Google Domains is actually being sold, and it's being sold to I can't remember the name of the Square something or other. A wonderful blogging Squarespace. That's it. So I thought, what is this Squarespace? And I started looking at their website construction, because I don't like WordPress. I just get tied in knots with WordPress. You assemble your web page and it goes all over the place and it doesn't look good in mobile and so forth. I tried Wix, but Wix I find very limited. You haven't got much. You can't mess about with your own code and mess things about. But I was stunned. I started messing about with Squarespace, and I thought it was remarkable. So I'm shoving the website over to Squarespace, and it really handles photographs. Squarespace, their templates handle photographs brilliantly. So I'll be able to tell you stories of this retreat coming up, Ireland and Scotland at the Carstake House. So build up all that, and we'll have your names down so that you get the latest add-on information, and we'll get to a price by the end of the coming week. I know Davina wants to get a little profit out of it. Me, I'm not that interested, just as long as we cover the costs. Just the experience would be fantastic of that. So just keep going on that. And Sky's making most of the comments, which is absolutely delightful. No, I don't know what he's doing there. Yeah, he says he's loving it. There we go. There's Sky again. Brilliant. That's absolutely. I think, apples as well. On StreamYard, not StreamYard, on Substack. I've got to get the stuff out for you as well as do the website. I'm in the middle of the series, coming into the end of the first harvest, and I've put the first apple one up. There's 2 more apple ones. I'll try to get those off and posted for you by the end of next week, because I want to get going with the one that you're all been sitting on the edge of your seats over, which is the Ale House Wives story. And that is a phenomenal story. I'm going to try and start that up before the end. August is over, and that'll take us well up to Sawan. You'll be amazed. It's very much, I suppose, a kind of fascinating history with the voice of women that actually takes us up to the witches. So that's it takes us right back into Babylon, into Mesopotamia, Persians. I think you'll find the whole thing fascinating. So anyway, the course modules, I've got I'm really behind by 2 of them. I'll try and get one more up next week. You've been getting the Apple one, so it's all been very very happily, because on the course module, that was about inspiring prompts from apples, and even the Ogham apple, the Kurt the apple. So I've been doing that as well. And then I've been going through Apple Folklore on the free articles. Right, as I say, this is a ramble. It wasn't an organized session. We just had great fun there from the Leitrim Hawthorn project. There's a WhatsApp group if you search for it. If you're interested, this is very much Leitrim, but you might like to do a Hawthorn project in your own area. Any questions with that, the Hawthorn project, with the retreat coming up, Carstake House, and also what I'm doing on the Substack as well. And of course, as I say, there's the Substacks there, and I think, yeah, as I was saying before, I try and get, there's free articles there. I try and get at least 40 out a year, going through the seasons, very informative nature of folklore articles. And if you upgrade to become a support subscriber, which is the journaling nature folklore, that when the website goes up, it's got a new name, which I will reveal then. And that folklore course includes the 20 modules a year. The actual modules are going to stay the same, but it's just the way the modules are actually coming out. It is journaling. It's about journaling. But I think we need another name, because I'm really bringing a lot of Ogham into that. So that's a hint. But you can join that anytime. It's a revolving course, not a linear one. It's going to develop every year with that. latest updates, so you'll enjoy that. €5 a month, or 50% discount, €30, as I've repeated for a few weeks. Substack's trying to get me to get that up to 50, but we'll see how that goes. Join it while you can, and it's while I'm broadcasting, because I do have monthly and annual fees for the stuff that I normally put together with this. So if you've got any questions, message me about the retreat, about summer solstice here in Ireland, especially summer solstice there at Grange Circle B, and how that relates to the Crom Dove of this time, this August. Yeah, just message me. So I trust that you're going to have a fantastic week ahead. Fire any questions or comments before I finish off. Not sure what next Sunday I'm going to be theming on. I haven't had much thought about that. Obviously, I'll talk a bit more about the retreats. I might talk a bit more about the apples, but it all depends what nature news comes in. Positive news. The copy this week had a couple of things I would have liked to talk about, so I'll move that over to next week as well. Thank you. I've enjoyed this sort of snappy roundabout evening with you to share nature echoes, as if, and I've been repeating myself to sound like an echo as well. So if you watch this after the broadcast, keep the comments, keep the questions going. I will actually answer. I always check recent comments and reply to what you posted. If nobody came through on YouTube today, we've been doing well with the YouTube people in the last few weeks. But if you do suddenly come through with the archive, there's the bell there, and that will remind you of the next Nature Echoes coming up. So enjoy a safe week, full of all the wonder, inspirations, enchantments that comes from the presence of being in the water, the woods. Sky loves the water, woods, and the mysteries of nature. So thank you very much. I think that's all I can bring to you today. So until next Sunday, I hope you'll come back, and we'll have a more serious Nature Echoes. So that's all I got today. Have a wonderful week ahead. I hope you've had a terrific Sunday. So that's all from me. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Well done. Where is it? I've lost it.